round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation. And so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so really the 4. But still, that just reminds me of how competitive I was and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me get to the next level. And being that competitive at the club level has only helped me, continue to grow in my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family. The girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything. And there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we could actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Sometimes you can play with the best players. To play against the best players is where you get better. My team went to the national championship one time. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it was just an amazing experience to feel like, and I'm from a small town, so to feel like you were competing against the best in the country is something that I'll always remember.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and making these lifelong bonds.
What is it that defines us? A collection of moments that develop into a memory. Each day, each hour, each second. Our minds let go of 1,000 things a day. Dates of wars and deaths of kings. The tears that dry and the pain that fades. What really is a memory? The immortal thought that makes an ever-changing moment unchangeable. What you make of those moments determines if they are ingrained in you or lost forever. Your memories take the lessons from your journey and turn them into a roadmap for your future. For what is each person's course except a series of choices between the right way and the easy way? Those choices will contribute to the voice in the back of your head that tells you to go further and push harder, The voice that reminds you of the pain of coming up short, or that your time at the top is fleeting. Dedication ensures that when your time comes and you are called to play, that moment will be imprinted on your memory forever. In the years to come, will you look back and wish you had done something differently? Or will you know that you left it all on the field, giving everything you had and everything that you are? This is your moment. How will you remember it?
Today's game is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance and Toyota, the official automobile of U.S. Youth Soccer. Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medals, and pins supplier. The National Soccer Coaches Association of America, an official sponsor of U.S. Youth Soccer. Liberty Mutual Insurance, the official auto, home, life, and workers' compensation insurance. And Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of U.S. Youth Soccer webcasts. Today's game is brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger. Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer. The National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer. MLS, the official grassroots partner of U.S. Youth Soccer. And Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frisco, Texas, site of the 2016 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. We're on day 3 of group play, bringing you the U15 girls action between Campton United and Sunrise Sting. Campton still has everything to play for, whereas Sunrise is pretty much mathematically eliminated. They're not officially eliminated until the final day is over, but at 0-2-0, they basically cannot catch up to anyone. So they're basically playing for pride and hoping to get their goal total up just a little bit higher, as they currently have only scored 1 goal and allowed 5. Sunrise had a 0-1 decision against Dallas. That was obviously a loss, and then a 4-1 loss to Midwest United, whereas Campton United still has a lot to play for, as they are coming into today at 1-0-1. They have scored 4 goals, allowed 1. They tied on day 1 against Midwest United by a score of 1-1, and then defeated the Dallas Kicks by the score of 2-1. So their path into the semifinals is pretty much laid out for them. Win and you're in. If you get a draw or a loss, then they need Dallas to get a draw or a loss. And then there are various configurations from there on out. But obviously Campton is hoping that they can just get the victory, and that will put them into the semifinal round. Where they finish will be determined based on how some of the other games play out. So Campton is clad in their all reds. Sunrise Sting wearing the dark jerseys. They will be going left to right, Campton going right to left. Sunrise starts us off, and we're underway. 40 minutes aside, 80 minutes total. Sunrise trying to get things on the off to Lakshman Singh. We'll get a throw-in opportunity as she watch that one roll out. Lakshman Singh wanting a little bit of movement, not much to be had, and we'll do it all over again. Third time's a charm. Maybe we'll keep this one in bounds. On for Silva. She gives it up. Holland going the other way. Serves up a good ball. Flicked on by Rittenhouse. The goalkeeper comes out and claims it for Sunrise. Matei with her first touch on the ball. Now it's into the box. Could be dangerous. Getting in. Davis. Matei able to get another touch onto that one. She's getting some early work here. Dobles. And now Silva. Too strong. Tried to go to Nowak. Now into the box. Lakshman Singh. Can't get it away. She was able to play it off the attacker, getting the goal kick. A little bit of extra background for Sunrise. They finished tied for first in the red division of the National League, and the tiebreaker put them in second. But that still was good enough to get them qualified for this tournament. Today's game is actually a rematch. These two teams played each other to a 0-0 draw back on January 1st in the Disney Showcase. Right now, these two teams just kind of feeling each other out. Try to figure out the tendencies. So far, it's been Campton with the better of the chances. Mante has come up with a couple good saves. And that one will roll out for the goal kick. We welcome you in this morning, 9:30 local time, just a little bit after by now. Whether you're watching from St. Charles, Illinois, or Sunrise, Florida, or anywhere in between, we appreciate you watching Turbo Sports production of the USYS National Championships. Day 3. 3 days straight of group play. After today, we'll have everything sorted out, and the semifinals will begin on Saturday. Check the USYS website for the official schedule. Campton gets it at the midfield straight. Trying to send one upfield for Howe. Going the other direction. Right now there's just a lot of build-up and not a whole lot of finish for either side. Sunrise trying to do their best just to get things on the offensive side. Silva sliding one through. Running on is Dobles. Coming out. Making the initial stop was Montgomery. Back into the mixer. Nobody really coming down with it. Opportunity for Vasquez. That ends up in the goalkeeper's hands. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Offside was the call. Cut out in the midfield. Vasquez keeps it in. From the left side touchline. Center one in for Frey. Punched away by Waiters. Under the attack. Frey calling for it again. But no ball will come. A little bit of a light breeze here this morning. It's going right to left overall and corner flag to corner flag, so kind of catty corner across the field. And off the throw, nobody able to get a touch onto it for Campton. So we'll have to put things back into play with the goal kick. Coming to you from the Toyota Soccer Center. Literally in the shadow of Toyota Stadium, home of FC Dallas, of MLS fame. Former MLS champions. It's been a few years now, but they've still got a pretty good program down here in Dallas. Coming over to the near wing. Wessel couldn't quite handle it. Stolen back, though. Good midfield play from Wahlberg. C.C. Wahlberg. Tried to get it to Ryberg. Coach Nail going to have a discussion with someone here on the near sideline. Wanting Rittenhouse to get into some better areas. Here's Frey. Take it down. Regains control of it. Trying to keep possession. Looking for a foul. None to be had. Here's a giveaway. Rittenhouse up top to Griffin. And that's played out. Waiters able to get a touch to it before Davis got on. Conceding the corner, and Holland will come up to take. Coach Nail concerned with the counterattack. His team looking only for the corner. They've got movement going around. Lots of movement in the box. Now they jump in front of the goalkeeper. Go towards the near post. Solid hands there. Matei able to find it through the maze of bodies. Counter could be on. Numbers pushing forward for Sunrise. But the ball was played too early and Frey was not ready. Rittenhouse with a deft touch. Slots one through. Flag stays down. Davis onto the ball. Crunching slide tackle. Rittenhouse takes a spill, gets a free kick. A dangerous opportunity coming up for Campton United, as they'll try to swing one in from the far side with the left foot. Again, players moving all over the box. We'll get it restarted on the whistle. There it is. And here it comes. Going near post. It actually went out towards the penalty spot. Headed away, at least for the moment. Wessel trying to bring it down over the head of Rittenhouse. Popped back towards the edge of the area. Legs just kind of flailing around right now, trying to get possession of this one. Not to be had for anybody yet. Ping-ponging back and forth. Silva. Able to win possession. Wahlberg got it up. Intended it for Davis. And here's Wahlberg again. Holland lobs one into the box. Davis, oh, sliding stop. Can't get to the rebound. Holland back into the danger area. Davis wouldn't settle for her. And now she's out and muscled by Waiters. Silva. And back. Silva calling for it. Instead, it's touched on by Vasquez. Too tall. Waiters has some long legs, but she couldn't catch up to that one. Over the head of Davis on the attack for Campton. Waiters able to get a piece of it. Looking for a little bit of space here. One touch passing going on right now for Sunrise. The Sting looking to find some sting on the offensive end. It's been hard to come by for them in this tournament. Only one goal, as I mentioned. And that was in a 4-1 loss. Intercepted in the midfield circle. Back the other way. Knocked down by Douglas. Douglas gets it again. Swings outside. A smart play there from Wessel to just let it run. Quickly in, but difficult to deal with there from Nahera. Najera caught unaware as she didn't necessarily know if it was going to get out of the defender's head. Now it's popped into the box. And diving out to throw a foot into it is Rachel Lutter. temperature fairly pleasant, or at least the conditions, I suppose I should say. Although the humidity has picked up a little bit within the last 15 minutes or so. But that had a lot to do with the sun peeking out. Started to go back behind the clouds. Hoping to get the full day in here today. It's been a little bit harder to come by without getting some afternoon storms. But pleasant conditions right now as the wind picks up a little bit. Campton being reined in just a little bit as Wessel was wanting to charge forward. Now it's loose into the box for Najera. And she just couldn't get it out between the wickets. An easy stop there for Matei. She's had quite a bit of work here in the early going. Not quite unexpected. But as a goalkeeper, sometimes if you know that you're going to get some shots against, you'd almost rather it be more often than not to kind of keep you sharp. And here's Silva sliding one through for Frey, and Wessel saw it. Novak has to send it back for Johnson. And now Matei. A little bit of danger here. And Matei gets it out with the left foot. Silva cutting away from pressure, and up the field for Laureano. Laureano for Douglas. Couldn't get the return feed. Frey comes out to get it. Steps on it, pumps the brakes. On through. Just a bit too far from Vasquez. You like this attacking game coming so far from Sunrise. They're not expected to do too much. So sometimes those are the games that you can have the most danger in trying to go forward. You know your tournament is pretty much done. So why not just throw caution to the wind and see if you can poach a goal and a result with it. Here comes Vasquez. Picking up a little bit of speed, feeds it in from the left. Laureano played it right into the defender. She had made up her mind that she was going to shoot. Probably should have second thought that, but in the end she got it away with it as the counterattack was thwarted here at midfield. Up the near sideline and playing soccer tennis right now with the head balls. Laureano steps on it. Well defended by Howe. But they find a little bit of space. Vasquez. Now Laureano. Vasquez was calling for the back. Tried to slip one over the far side. Popped over the top. Too tall for Douglas. And Wessel will just play it out. Again, we welcome you in. If you're just tuning in, 0-0 is the score. You see the timeline up on the corner. We received word that there is going to be no water breaks today unless there is a change in the weather, which hopefully there will not be because it's rather pleasant. Didn't seem like there was going to be any front associated with the weather yesterday, but it has cooled down considerably. If anything else, even if we have the normal temperatures that we've had the last couple days, we won't have the heat indexes, which have been up around 110 down here in the Dallas metro area. Both teams setting up their defending very well. They're springing some good attacks, but they're met each time. That's played out by Lutter. So we're going to have a substitute come in a moment for Campton. We'll get you that name here in just a moment. We'll have a corner kick when we get things back underway. Coming into the game is Samantha Ryberg. So she checks in for some early action here, setting up kind of on the defensive end, at least for now. Popped up into the air. We'll have a corner kick again. So my apologies. That actually means that Rydberg is up on the forward side. So they got the field flipped around a little bit. Laureano is going to take another corner kick. Chloe Laureano trying to put it into a dangerous area as the official having some words with some of the players that have been tussling in front of the goalkeeper. Here's a high one. Doesn't give the goalkeeper any chance. Little pop shot, and they score! Off the set piece, Marley Frey puts in the goal, only the second of the tournament for Sunrise, and it is 1-0. So a bit of a surprise goal for Sunrise, but you could almost sense it building. They were working those set pieces to pretty good effect. And they score off the corner kick as it was finished off by Marley Frey. Not too much in the way of opportunity for Montgomery to get down and stop that one. She did her best to try to get down and cover the ground, but with the ball kind of bouncing back and forth with no real purpose, it just settled up nicely for Frey to finish it off. So now if you're Campton United, you kind of have to push the reset button a little bit. They can still advance with a loss, but that takes a lot of help from other places, and as any player and fan will know, that you don't want to leave your fate in other people's hands. So sub's about to check in. Ashley Diorio comes into the game. Flag goes up. Offside was the call. Another goal scorer, Frey, lays it back. As Sunrise trying to build something up again. That one was knocked away, so that will avert the danger at least momentarily. Getting it back, though, is Luchman Singh. She'll have another opportunity. Nice ball up the wing. Cutting up towards the corner. And that will be a throw for Campton. Or, excuse me, for Sunrise. Into the box, but nobody for Sunrise in the area. Cut back. And then a miscue there. Little hip action coming from Laureano. Trying to fake out the defenders, but they weren't having any of it. Just a bit too far behind Rydberg. Rittenhouse trying to put on the pressure. A shot from distance. Gets the approval of Coach Nail. That was going to take something special to score from there. But we've seen similar shots go in, especially here on the girls' side. So why not try it? All you're giving up is a goal kick. That does take time away, especially since Campton is down. Waiters plays it out with the header. But Campton will have the opportunity to push further upfield. So Taylor Fleury is going to come into the game. The next substitution. Good bit of passing here. They tried to work the 1-2. Laureano couldn't get a piece of it. Now here's Silva. So as it goes into touch, we'll have those substitutes. It's going to be Alyssa DeMano and Taylor Fleury coming into the game. So Bustamante and Howe will come out for a breather. Rittenhouse, like a bull in a china shop, trying to muscle her way through the defenders. They got the best of her with the pass, though. Up the far side, on the right, in a dangerous area. Just under the foot of Wahlberg. Back up top. Nothing doing there, too strong. Far sideline. A gaggle of substitutes going to come in for Sunrise when they are given an opportunity, and they'll be matched by a couple more for Campton. As both teams trying to keep their legs fresh, especially for the second half push. Emily Larson will come in for Campton when given the opportunity. Still trying to keep track of the Sunrise substitutions. Haven't seen who they are yet. Looks like it's going to be Madison Grushoff, Liliana Fernandez, and Kayla Fernandez. So we'll call them by their first names just to keep them straight. Kayla and Liliana. Also into the game is Amanda Rose. Back into play off the throw, and it's given right to Campton. Rydberg looking for a little bit of space. Closed down. She has to send it back to the defender. Diorio. Little chip pass, but it went out. Trying to take away space from Loriano, drops it back to Luchman Singh. Frey, not sure she meant that, but it's a lovely bit of skill in the end as it ended up dropping right to her teammate Grushoff. Sent through by Rydberg. She gets it back. Wessel takes on the defender, one-on-one, now one-on-two. She cuts it through in towards center. Oh, and then a good bit of skill from Luchman Singh as she was able to get a foot onto that one. Good defensive awareness. Luchman Singh getting a lot of touches on the ball here. Not sure she wanted that last one, as she seemed a little bit exasperated by the fact that she had to track it down again. Rydberg sends kind of a blind pass, but got away with it. She got it on for Holland. Rydberg was able to get it around Frey, but still gave it up. Grushoff. And now Liliana Fernandez. All the way back for Gordon. Trying to send it up the wing. He had Kayla Fernandez there, but she wasn't able to get a piece of it. Not going to cause a few problems with that ball, but not to be bouncing aimlessly. Stropolo. That one's taken away. Laid back by Grushoff. Luchman Singh. Stropolo putting on some pressure. Rydberg. Now Demano. Wasn't able to get a good clean strike on that one as it wouldn't settle down for her. It was spinning around like a top. Pop near wing. Dobles. Couldn't get around the defender, and now Campton with a chance to reset. Wessel around one defender. The pass might betray her. Davis trying to run onto it, but it's going to roll all the way to the keeper. Mante will put it back in. U15 girls group action. Campton United against Sunrise Sting. The Sting lead 1-0. And an excellent finish from Marley Frey. Off of a corner kick that seemed like it was going to amount to nothing. It was just kind of bouncing around dangerously in front of goal. And finally it fell right to Frey's feet. She was able to put it just underneath the goalkeeper. And here is Frey, all the way back on the defensive side now, coming out to help. Richmond Singh. Pass looked like it was going to be betraying her. But instead, Douglas came back to clean up the spilled milk. Brush off. Just played upfield by Fleury. Mastrofolo trying to track this down. Luchman Singh has it. Rydberg was there but couldn't get a piece of the ball. Going the other direction for Grushoff. Around the defender. Slets it up the middle. Trying to slice this one into the box. Montgomery comes out. Gets it with the leg instead of the hands, but gets away with that. Offside was the call. It was a little bit delayed, but the center referee eventually saw the flag up. This one's got a lot of backspin on it. Davis putting on a lot of pressure, trying to steal it away from Luchman Singh. Now she's got to try to keep it in and failed to do so. Just too much pace on the ball once she nicked it away. Quickly back into play. Stepped into by Lutter, but give it away on the pass. Kayla looking far side. Up the wing. Good battle here along the sideline. Flag stays down, so it stayed in. Liliana couldn't get a good clean touch on that one. Falls away. Duel for it in the midfield. Liliana comes up with it. And here's Dobles. Now for Grushoff and back. Nifty ball through. Onto the feet. Here's Kayla. Kayla Fernandez with the shot. Scooped up. Not too much in that in the end for Montgomery. But at this stage of the game, you're playing with house money if you're Sunrise. You're already up by a goal. The way that they've defended so far, you almost have to figure that they've got a draw in the back of their pocket. But they don't want to think that way, and neither does Campton. The win paramount for them. Now loose into the box, and coming out dangerously was Mate. She was never going to get to that one. But fortunately for her, Gordon was able to get a piece of it. Now it could be dangerous. Goes out, corner kick. So this will allow Campton to throw numbers forward. We've already seen a set-piece goal coming off the corner kick. Now can Campton answer with one of their own? Rydberg will go over and take it. She'll put it in with the right footer. So it'll swing away from goal, but they're going to go short. Saw that lead to a goal in the earlier match. Not today. Now they slide it out to Rydberg. Trying to slice around Johnson. Gets the throw. Rittenhouse had position, but then took a couple steps in to try to get a piece of that ball. And with the wind kind of playing around with it once it pops up in the air, it's a little bit more difficult to judge. You're on one of the higher fields, so the Wind catches the ball just a little bit more up here, as there's several tiers to this complex. Right now, Campton trying to answer a 1-0 deficit. Rittenhouse. Now the shot comes in, and that's ultimately quite off target. So we received word that there's going to be 1 minute of stoppage time, as Mastropolo able to get a piece of that one, but not able to settle it with possession. And here's Frey, looking for a little bit of space. Takes it over the midfield stripe. Across the midway line. Now DeLoreano cuts it back towards midfield. Too hot for Frey. She gets it back on the second attempt. Christophe. She's a little bit disappointed with that. Grashoff leaves it behind. Luchman Singh stepped into Mastropolo. Davis muscled off the ball again. She has had Gordon in her back pocket anytime she wanders into that center role. Time taken away on this first half. Remember, 1 minute of stoppage time going to be added on to the end of this one. You have to figure that that is even waning away here. So it looking more and more like Sunrise is going to carry a 1-0 lead into the break. Campton would love to poach one on the counter, but right now they need to worry about getting possession for that to even happen. Sent over to the far side. Couldn't be handled there by Johnson. Was able to regain it. Sliced up the wing and cut out. So there's the whistle. Halftime has come, and nothing officially decided yet, but Sunrise definitely with the advantage, scoring that early goal. Coming off the corner kick, Marley Frey was able to put it in, and that is the difference in this one so far. We'll take a quick break for halftime. When we come back after these sponsors, we will have your second half from Frisco, Texas at the USYS National Championships.
We made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best. I think at the time it was the 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation, and so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, if these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so we played the 4. But still, that just reminds me of how competitive I was and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me at the next level. And being that competitive at the club level has only helped me, continue to grow and my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family. The girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything. And there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we could actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Sometimes you can play with the best players, play against the best players is where you get better. My team went to the national championship one time. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it was just an amazing experience to feel like, and I'm from a small town, so to feel like you were competing against the best in the country is something that I'll always remember.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and making these lifelong bonds.
What is it that defines us? A collection of moments that develop into a memory. Each day, each hour, each second. Our minds let go of 1,000 things a day. Dates of wars and deaths of kings. The tears that dry and the pain that fades. What really is a memory? The immortal thought that makes an ever-changing moment unchangeable. What you make of those moments determines if they are ingrained in you or lost forever. Your memories take the lessons from your journey and turn them into a roadmap for your future. For what is each person's course except a series of choices between the right way and the easy way? Those choices will contribute to the voice in the back of your head that tells you to go further and push harder. The voice that reminds you of the pain of coming up short, or that your time at the top is fleeting. Dedication ensures that when your time comes and you are called to play, that moment will be imprinted on your memory forever. In the years to come, will you look back and wish you had done something differently? Or will you know that you left it all on the field, giving everything you had and everything that you are? This is your moment. How will you remember it?
Today's game is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance and Toyota, the official automobile of U.S. Youth Soccer. Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medals, and pin supplier. The National Soccer Coaches Association of America, an official sponsor of U.S. Youth Soccer. Liberty Mutual Insurance, the official auto, home, life, and workers' compensation insurance. And Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of U.S. Youth Soccer webcasts. Today's game is brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger. Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer. The National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer. MLS, the official grassroots partner of U.S. Youth Soccer. And Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink. Hello and welcome back to Frisco, Texas. Todd Panula with you, bringing you today's coverage of this U15 girls group game between Campton United and Sunrise Sting. As you saw on your screen, the 1-0 lead at the halftime break belongs to Sunrise, and they are going to try to make that hold up, whereas Campton still wants to try to get at least a point out of this one. As I mentioned a couple times during the first half, they can still advance with a loss, but it becomes much more difficult, and you have to have certain things play out, different scenarios depending on what happens in the other games, and it's just best not to leave it to that if you're a Campton fan. So obviously the team in red is going to be seeking out at least an equalizing goal, because they are much more likely to be the one of the semifinalists with a draw as opposed to a loss. But even a draw, still need certain things to play out, and right now Sunrise is trying to hold on. They're officially out, well, I guess unofficially out. Basically, mathematically, there is no chance of them catching up to anybody, so they're pretty much playing for pride, but they've done a good job of that so far with the 1-0 lead on the Marley Frey goal. So we'll get things back into play with Mate rolling it out. She had to make some solid stops in the first half, so you can't say that Campton didn't have their chances. But Mate was up to the answer every time. Now Johnson outmuscled by Rittenhouse, but the AR saw a little bit too much in that and calls the foul. The goalkeeper out of the box to put this one back into play. She needs to get back quickly, as that was almost given away at the midway line. Now they'll try things from the far side. Johnson will get a piece of it. It was actually Luchman Singh. They've swapped around. Luchman Singh keeping it in the attacking area. All the way back is Lutter. So able to play that out. And it'll be a corner kick. So another opportunity. This is how Sunrise scored their goal. They're trying to do the same again. towards the penalty spot. Liliana Fernandez got a good head on that one, but she couldn't get up to meet it, so the ball kind of came down to her, and thus she wasn't able to direct it down on target, got a little too far underneath. Going the other direction now. Here's Rittenhouse trying to push it around. Waiters on her, sliding challenge, and he takes her out with some force. Gives up the corner. Right now, Campton trying to find an equalizing goal. They're going to take it from the corner kick. And to track down the ball first, it has gone up that railing, keeping things out from the little lake between us and the parking lot. So it's going to come from the near side. A right footer. They all dive up for it, and they call the foul. The goalkeeper didn't come up with it. Matei got her hands on it, but she took a bit of a knock, and the referee saw enough in that to call the foul. So the sun is out. It's heated things up just a little bit. Still fairly pleasant with the breeze going on, but the temperature definitely going to go up. See if that affects these teams as we go along. Rittenhouse with a good challenge there, and they call a foul in the midfield circle. The coaching staff for Campton United a little bit upset with that one based on the way that the game was called in the first half. Falls for Kayla. She couldn't get a foot to it. Tapped around Liliana. Now it could be out for Ridenour. Sliding it through. Trying to run onto it is Najera. Again, that crunching, sliding tackle. Najera was able to hop over the top of it. Sooner or later, those are going to be a little bit dangerous. You like to see the good effort from the defenders. And as long as they're going for the ball, it's all within the realm of the rules. Rittenhouse goes end line, but it hopped over. She shows a little bit of frustration as she couldn't keep that one in. Offensive opportunity, looking for Rittenhouse. Johnson right in her back pocket. Rittenhouse again, spins, shoots, score! Hannah Rittenhouse with the right footer, and we're all level. So 99 answers 99. With the equalizing goal, Marley Frey scored in the first half, and now Hannah Rittenhouse in the second to tie things up. So now it's a new story for Campton. Got things back to square, and that's what they wanted. They wanted at least a draw in this one. As I mentioned, they can get things through with the loss, but they don't want that to happen. Now here's Rittenhouse looking for more. Waiters charging her down. Waiters able to come away with it. Looks upfield. Kayla up to Silva. Taken away by Reitberg. Now Rose almost had her pocket picked. Stropolo. Pushing it upfield. Here comes Campton. Oh, there's a dangerous challenge. The player fell over the ball, but the challenge kind of pushed her into it. You could have easily seen a card come out of the pocket there, but it's just going to be a talking to. And Sadie Holland trying to shake off the effects. You have to figure that the official perhaps a little bit hesitant to hand out the card because the player did fall over the ball. But as I mentioned before, it was the challenge that put her into that awkward position. So you could easily see a yellow card come out. But for Sunrise point of view, they're grateful that it was not. Here's Rydberg, but we'll have to do it over because the official had not blown the whistle to restart. Now the game getting a little bit chippy as challenges coming in left and right and starting to get a little too much on the ground. The official might need to get a little bit more of a grasp on this one. Right now it's Waiters leaving it off. Kayla Fernandez going up towards the forward line. Silva sending it up top. Vasquez running on. Can she keep it in on the sideline? She cannot. That ends up going out. It'll be a restart. Dobles going to try to go for the long throw. But Sunrise tried to be a little cautious here. They didn't send too many numbers in on the box. Lichman Singh gets it around. All the way back. Gordon. Take it away. Off to the races. Here comes Campton. What a sliding challenge there. A little bit from behind, but the official says she got the ball.
She's running from behind. My player can't even see her coming. I don't care if she got the ball.
Diorio.
Can't even see her. Can't even shield on the tackle.
Over the head. Rittenhouse. Guarded by Gordon. Those two players have been on each other throughout the game. It's been a good battle in this one. Now slid through, flag goes up. Offside. Let's go Campton chant starts over on the far side, but it's Sunrise with possession. Off the defender and out. Last touch by Fleury. So good work by Grushoff to gain the advantage. Trying to get it into Kayla Fernandez. Goes in line. It'll go out for the goal kick. Out towards the midfield line. Take it back. Kayla let it run through. He was making a run, but Grushoff couldn't get it through the defender. Trying to pop that over the top to Rittenhouse. Again, wanting to flick it on to Rittenhouse. They're trying to get everything to flow through her, despite the fact that she's taken up more of a wide role as opposed to the central spot that she had to start the game. Now Rydberg had to come all the way back. Fleury trying to play it out. Held in, at least for the moment, by Kayla Fernandez. Fernandez puts it across. Grushoff wanted it on the right foot. Tried to switch it over to the left. But the defender was wise to the plan. Gordon gets around Rittenhouse. As again, they duel and duel. It's gone back and forth. Najera comes over here to the near side to get some instruction and some water as well. Again, the wind is what's keeping the day pleasant. As the sun is fully out now. Clouds seem to kind of be dissipating. So as the sun creeps higher into the sky, it'll be less of a visual impairment for anybody. Now we've got a player down at the midfield line. That looks to be Maya Gordon. So they're going to put Chloe Laureano back in. Not necessarily a like-for-like substitute. If that is indeed the substitution. Laureano is coming in regardless. So Laureano checks in. Gordon is out. This one's dangerous. Comes loose in the box. They score! Again, from the set piece. The Sting. It's hard to tell who got the last touch on that one. Looks like they might have been surrounding Luchman Singh. Perhaps it can be better seen on the replay. I'm sure we'll get another look at it. But nevertheless, Sunrise retake the lead. So now it's all to do again for Campton. Rittenhouse looking for a little bit of space, taking on Johnson. Seeing if there's a little bit of extra room without Gordon in the middle. Rittenhouse taking it in, left-footed shot as she was going to ground. Now Holland. Waiters right on her. Touch out. Quickly in for Holland. Cut to end line. Serves it across. Shot came in. Goalkeeper out. As she is swallowed up by a sea of bodies. Solid play from Matei. Confident and brave goalkeeping to come out and get a piece of that one, putting your body on the line. Lutter taking it to the far side around Vasquez. Vasquez able to close the ground. Rydberg takes a spill. Set back up, trying to get it onto Najera. And just played up and over the crowd. Fantastic back and forth game, especially for the neutral fan. Obviously, it's very nerve-wracking for both of the fan sets, especially those in St. Charles, Illinois, as they know that their future is still in doubt. You don't want to leave everything to chance. Coming over. Rittenauer. Played around. Slid through to Diorio. Walled off, goes out, goal kick.
Hey, get organized right now!
So perhaps some substitutes as Coach Nail sending some players over to warm up, wanting to try something new. As the offensive game plan hasn't come to full fruition despite the goal. Still a lot of mistakes that he would like cleaned up. They've had a few chances. They haven't had a few calls go their way that they thought should have. Kayla Fernandez gives it off to Johnson, and now back to Laureano. Now on for Kayla Fernandez. Right off of Rydberg's head. That's going to scramble the brains a little bit. Discretion, the better part of valor there for Fleury. She plays it out, allowing some of her teammates to come back and help out. Kayla Fernandez gets it across, and she scores! I'm not sure she intended that to even be a shot, but it doesn't matter in the end, as Fernandez has made it 3-1 Sunrise. The defenders failed to close down. Kayla Fernandez was able to take advantage. The wind might have caught it a little bit, catching Montgomery somewhat unaware. She did all she could with that, but those are some of the most difficult balls to deal with as a goalkeeper. And now we may have somebody going into the book. The referee looked like he was going to the pocket. Now he is calling Johnson back. And again, just a talking to. Exasperated faces from the coaching staff of Campton. Nevertheless, an opportunity now for Campton to try to put one in and get the equalizer here from a dangerous free kick. Checking back into the game is Davis and Wahlberg. Served in. Letter was actually going for the shot, going for glory. And she was unable to get that one to curl back down. So 3-1 your score with Sunrise in command. So everything to do now for Campton United. As the heat picks up, so does their frustration. But you have to give credit to Sunrise as they have played well. Now here's Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse going towards the end line, plays it off of Waiters as she crunches into her again. had to go check on Rittenhouse, and she's trying to plead her case, saying that that should have been a penalty kick. She went hard to ground, but I think due to the fact that she was kind of lunging forward to play the ball off the defender, might have been what threw that off. Nevertheless, a corner kick. Campton United needs to put one in here to get one back. Rittenhouse with the volley, but she couldn't get over the top of it. And Matei, as they dangerously play it along the back. Rittenhouse will let it go out. Diorio quickly in, and Holland. Free kick just outside the box. Davis, who had gotten a little bit of an extended rest after the half, she was really dangerous in the first. Couldn't find the score, obviously, but she'd like to pick up where she left off. It's going to be Holland to put a foot into it. He's got the option of both the left and the right. Asking for some instruction from her coach as to what he wants. Looks like they're going to try to loop one over the top. Perhaps go back post. Right-footed chip in towards the penalty spot. And Davis puts it over. It was there. But again, it just hopped up. She couldn't get a foot onto it before it hit the ground, and once it took the bounce, it was always going up. So the goal kick for the restart. As we get some subs coming back into the game is Frey, and also in is Avery Novak. Now we'll have the goal kick. Get a touch over along the far sideline. The wind picking up again. Again, going pretty much right to left. And somewhat across the field, so you have to figure that that accounted for a little bit on that Fernandez goal, but nevertheless it was a quality strike. A strong right foot through it. The only question really was whether she actually meant to shoot or not. It seemed like not, but they all count. Now a giveaway as Fernandez actually sets it up nicely for Rittenhouse. Shoves Johnson away into the mixer, trying to get it onto that backside, but Najera was just a step behind. Najera going to the corner. Free kick. Whistles left and right, and a lot of arguments going on from other fields. Sometimes a little bit difficult to keep things straight. But right now, as the referee marks off the field, the 10 yards, chances becoming ever more precious for Campton. They send numbers forward. Going up top is Diorio. Now she'll take up that garbage roll, see if anything comes out the backside. Running in. They're looking for her. Punched away by the keeper. Second opportunity. They take their shot, looking to go over. Just over the crossbar. Fantastic chance. Fortunately for Campton, it was just a little too much on it. They had the opportunity with Matei out. Coming out on that punch, she was scrambling to get back. Would have been difficult to deal with if that had managed to sneak under the crossbar. So now numbers going forward. But that one is kind of aimlessly put in towards the box. Lobbing it upfield. Taken by Diorio. Stolen back by Frey. Slipping. Didn't get as much on that one. Najera able to touch it around the defender, but it goes out. It'll be a throw. Time ticking away. This match perhaps slipping away for Campton. They need to find something here. They trail by 2, but you got to get that first one to get back into it. Up the ringer wing. Kayla Fernandez has one of the 3 goals. She'll just carry it into the corner, and that's a good, smart play there. Gets herself a corner kick as well. Corner kick coming in. They've scored off of 2 set pieces already from the corner. Looking for another. A rebound chance. Coming out, Montgomery with a strong punch. Quick counterattack could be on if Najera gets to it. And that one just lobbed upfield with no real purpose. Matei going to come all the way out. But she's afforded the space. No real hurry from Sunrise, as they're content just to let seconds tick off of this clock. Just lobbed upfield, no real purpose to it. Holland, even with her height, wasn't able to get onto the end of that one. Laureano settles it down, looking for options. Just pops it into the box. It's got some backspin, but not quite enough to get it over to Hernandez. Diorio looking for a good curler onto Rittenhouse. Johnson takes a bit of a shove, and the official spotted it. So, sub coming in for Campton United. Coming in is Stephanie Howe. Looks like she will take up the right back spot as Diorio comes out. Again, no great hurry to put this one into play. That one's going to curl out. Throw in back for Campton. Over the head of Laureano. Rittenhouse, who's gotten a little more feisty here in the last few minutes. She's showing a little bit of frustration, trying to do her best to get her team back into this one. She's got the lone goal for Campton here today. Montgomery with the big punt. Not met by a friendly kit. Laureano couldn't quite settle down. Too hard off the inseam. And Laureano punches it away with the toe. They're tugging and pulling at her. Blanket. Rittenhouse. Almost like a human wicket. Playing croquet there. She had stumbled to the ground and managed to get away with a bit of obstruction. Through to Rydberg. Tried to cut it out to the right. Johnson saw it. Rydberg slips through the defense. She wants to put one in, and she chunked it. Throw in coming up. Time becoming more and more precious to Campton as they trail by 2. You've got to get that first one, and then you can worry about throwing the kitchen sink. Rittenhouse with Johnson right on her. Drops it back. Rydberg pops one up in the air. Might be dangerous, but Matei has just got hands made of glue. See a lot of goalkeepers spill it in that position. It's good to see as a former goalkeeper myself. The hands just clamp onto it with strength and purpose. Once again, no word on added time yet, as we're in the waning moments. Laureano gets back, just pops it towards the 18-yard area. Montgomery will come out to get it. Wind seems to have shifted again, as it tends to do. Right now, doesn't matter which way the wind is blowing. Waiters able to get a piece of that one. It's going to roll out. So that'll be an attacking third throw-in. Into the box. Dealt with there by Luchman Singh. They were able to clear that one out. Trying to get it back up. Fleury towards the top of the box. Jarrett tried to run onto it, but it had just enough to get over to the goalkeeper. Stray ball onto the field. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt play. Holland lost it from behind. Trying to bring it over towards the near side. A challenge there. Fernandez gets the better of it, but goes out of play. Trying to pop one over the top to Davis. Waiters able to deal with it. That's Rydberg. Sending one into the box. Davis is there, the touch! Matei able to see it the whole way. She was in good position. Laureano almost had her pocket pick from behind. Kayla Fernandez comes back. Look at a shield. Running out of space. Rittenhouse with the steal. Into the 18. Calls for a handball. This official says no. That's an interesting call. He's claiming that it was up against the body. It looked like it was extended from here. But as an official myself, will give him the benefit of the doubt. Trying to loop one over the top again. Waiters was able to shield Davis away. It was close. It gave the referee a decision to make at the very least. Campton fans obviously screaming up in St. Charles saying it was the wrong one. The crowd in Sunrise more than happy with what they've seen so far. Chopped up the field. Douglas won't be able to run onto it. Trying to get a couple late substitutes in here for Campton to get a little bit of playing time as they are starting to realize that they're going to have to rely on some of the other results to hope that they can make the semifinals. Stepped into by Douglas. Still in along the line. Now the Sunrise bench up in arms thinking there should have been a foul. Sent through, takes a touch. Flag stays down. Davis lobs it across. It's off the crossbar. The Hera. Oh, and Matei the save. They put it in, but it does not matter Offside is the call. Apparently, Najera was in an offside position. That looked like it may have been it. Campton United thought they had the goal. And the assistants down, pleading with the AR, wondering how that could have been the call. Checking into the game now for Campton is Fatima Bustamante. And also into the game, Abigail Mastropolo. Sunrise trying to kill this one off. And we got a foul again in the midfield. Coming out. Campton still hoping that they have a little bit of life left in this one. The time not on their side. High up into the air. Lutchman Singh threw a little bit of a forearm in the back. Mate had to just play it. Wessel cleared away. Wessel has to play it back, no other options. Gets it again. Now she goes forward. Davis getting it to settle down on the second opportunity. At the top of the box, there wasn't much there. They back up by Howe. Taken down from behind. Dangerous free kick coming up. So into the book goes Fernandez. Perhaps a late opportunity for Campton to at least give themselves hope as it begins to drain out of this game. Sunrise holding on, trying to get their first win and at least finish the tournament with 3 points. They cannot advance. There's a good chance, and that goes over the crossbar. Lutter got a little too far underneath it. It was close in, so it was going to be difficult to get it up and over the wall and then back down. Intercepted by Rittenhouse. Taking on Waiters, one-on-one to the end line. Cross. Doesn't get the friendly bounce. He will get the throw. Into Davis. Now Frey. Or Sunrise. Up the right. Time grows ever short. Free kick given. Going in. Back out towards the top. Rydberg. Miscommunication almost. Wessel going to send it up towards goal. Bit of a difficult bounce there for Matei, but she was able to get her body behind it as she has done all game long. And there it is. There is the final whistle. Sunrise, the winners, by the final score of 3-1. They get an early goal from Marley Frey. Then they score a second one off of a corner kick. And then a bit of a cross, a bit of a shot. It doesn't matter. It went in for Kayla Fernandez. Sandwiched in between all of that was a goal for Hannah Rittenhouse. But it was not in the cards today for Campton United. So now they await the finish of the other contest in this group to see how things play out. They can still advance with the loss, but they need Dallas to help them out just a little bit. And you'll have to check in with the official website to see whether or not that happened. That'll wrap up our coverage here of the 15 Girls Day 3. Hopefully you'll join us for the semifinals. Those will come on Saturday. But until then, for our great crew, our great camera people, for everyone here at Turbo Sports, I'm Todd Panula. Have a great day.